I did my first case study on Deepwater Horizon on April 20th, 2010, after capping off a well with cement in order for a smaller rig to come in and continue that oil production process. Oil and natural gases began to leak through the cement and into the well. This caused natural gases to rapidly expand and rise up into the pipe and into the rig. Usually, in order to prevent this from happening, a blowout preventer is installed into the pipe, and the Deepwater Horizon crew closed that preventer, but it ended up being too late. Those natural gases quickly rushed through the pipe and eventually began to spew out onto the rig, and within minutes, the floors were covered. Soon after, a spark ignited, and that was caused by either the heat or a piece of equipment on board, which resulted in an explosion resembling that of a nuclear bomb. That fire lasted more than 24 hours until the rig sank to the bottom of the ocean. Because of this, 11 men died, at least 90 were injured, and some men were never found. The sinking of the rig would lead to a flood of oil spilling into the Gulf of Mexico and up to Florida, spilling about 210 million gallons worth of oil into the ocean. Months prior to this happening, BP, who was one of the leading oil production companies in the industry, hired Halliburton to come in and make that first drill into the oil well and then cap it with cement in order for another rig to come in and continue that process. When Halliburton were running tests on their cement, they found that it was not stable, and that could lead to oil and natural gases to seep through the cement, similar to that what we saw on Deepwater Horizon, which could lead to disaster. After bringing these concerns to BP, they were completely ignored, and due to the pressure of the Halliburton engineers to conform with that of BP management, they continued the oil production process. Due to the pressure to reduce cost and just try to make as much profit as possible, that is the reason BP ignored those concerns and wanted to keep the process going. Because of this, BP had to pay billions of dollars in penalties, and neither BP or Halliburton were prepared when it came to the potential risk of an oil spill. They did not have the proper technology or proper procedures in place to be able to handle and contain that. Some lessons that can be learned from Deepwater Horizon disaster is the importance to speak up when you do notice that something is wrong, and simply ignoring it and valuing the opinions of the company instead of the workers is going to do nothing but hurt them in the long run. The workers and engineers are the ones that are working closest to the rigs, and those opinions should be valued at a very high standard. And another lesson that can be learned is to always be prepared for any outcome that could happen, whether it be planned or unplanned. Of course, the oil spill was not planned, but if the proper technology and procedure would have been in place, that could prevent long lasting damage